afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1135th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni, and that would be me. Good evening, traders. This video is being filmed on Thursday night for trading Friday. That would be February 7th, 2014. Before we get into this, futures trading, as you know, can be extremely risky and can cause substantial financial loss. The volatility has gone wild. Us Omniacs are getting banged around like we're in a pinball machine. I don't know if you guys are doing all right out there, but we're not. I don't know what's going on with these markets, but they're kicking the crap out of us. It doesn't matter where we put our stops. They come to get us, or if they don't, they get close and the market closes and we don't have a chance to get out with the profit. So, boy, it's been tough out there. But there have been some changes and some fantastic changes. And I am here to tell you that on this day, Friday, February 7th, this market is going to hold. And here is what I've got to show you. In the last video, I told you that the jury was out on the OTAPMA, and it was undecided. And we had these little baby bear flags building for Thursday, and maybe they would work. Forget it. That was so wrong. It just went the wrong way. Boom. Flags didn't work. That brings us back to OTAPMA. And guess what? An official call. The jury has decided OTAPMA is a hold. OTAPMA is a hold in the ES and the NASDAQ and the Dow and the tranny for trading on Friday. Non-farm payroll is probably the catalyst that is going to send us up. Now, I will say this. There's only one thing that is happening right now that's a little bit different than usual, and that is this. Tomorrow's report, the non-farm payroll, is much bigger than the analysis that's been happening lately. Usually, the reports come out in the charts first, and that's that. I kid you not, tomorrow's report is much bigger than the analysis that we've been using on the markets lately. It's just at a point that the news is going to make a tremendous impact on what happens tomorrow. Now, if it is true, and we believe it's true, and we prove it all the time, that the reports come out in the charts first, that news comes out in the charts first, you're going to love the chart segment I'm about to show you. The only thing I will say is this. If this report, whatever this report does tomorrow sets the tone for the next couple of weeks. The charts tell me it's going up. My brain, my trading, the 32 years I've been doing this tells me, why would we have had a one-day rally before a big report on Friday? And I'm extremely skeptical about this. But OMNI is firing on all 8 cylinders. OMNI's calling for the upside. It looks like OTAPMA made the hold. And I've got no choice but to not interfere and to tell you what I see. Again, personally, I would have thought this is a great setup, that rally on Thursday, for a big short for Friday's payroll information. But I don't trade fundamental. I trade the charts. The charts tell me that's not the story and that we're going higher. With no further ado, let me show you why. Let's go look at some charts. OmniCamp literally is the place where I hold back on nothing. I teach you all the techniques I've ever learned. I teach you all the great tips and tricks the floor traders taught me in my 32 years coming up. OmniCamp is your chance to come to Las Vegas and study with me, Oscar Carboni, for 4 straight days. And I want to make sure you leave with the knowledge and confidence that you can carry out these techniques yourself. If you feel ready, if you feel like you can come on down to Vegas and study with me for 4 days, come on down to livewithoscar.com and simply click the OmniCamp banner and fill out the application. Okay, Omniacs, here we go. The Dow Jones Transportation Average Daily Bar Chart. This is my OTAPMA. Last time down, it held. Time before that it held, time before that it held, time before that it held, time before that it held. Here we are now. I think it held. It looks like it held. Got under it a little bit and got back above. Settled nice and smart on Thursday. Then there's this. Very major trend line. Was a top, was a top, was a top, got through it, came back to it right when it got to OTAPMA. It holds that trend line. You see which one it is? Big major trend line, right? You can't miss it. Was a great, great trend line. The whole trade, boom, boom, boom. Gets above it, runs up, comes back down. Right there, this is what I thought was the bear flag yesterday, but it turned out to not be. The market went up, but the point is it's holding OTAPMA. Like here, like here, like here, like here. Why not here? That is your daily. Look at the weekly, traders. This goes way back. Look at the perfect hold every time it hits this support line. Every time, right? So the daily's holding OTAPMA and a big support line. The weekly's holding a major support line. And this one's nice because it stays inside of this channel, right? It stays nicely in the channel. So our leader, the transportation average, is telling us we're going up tomorrow. NASDAQ, our secondary leader, that tells us we're going up tomorrow. Look at this. NASDAQ, here, here, here. Perfect hold of OTAPMA. Perfect hold. Well, didn't even hit OTAPMA. Just got through OTAPMA for a day and went straight back up. Then if you connect the three holds at OTAPMA, it makes a perfect trend line. Look at this support line right here. A perfect support line with OTAPMA. That, my friends, is a hold. So that's your NASDAQ and your tranny, the two leaders. Dow Jones Industrial Average, traders. Look at this monster. This is your 200 bar moving average. That is the fund manager's blue light special. I kid you not. It held. Next time it hits it, it held. This time it hit it. We got underneath it for 3 days and zoomed back up, settled above the red line, which also connects the three spots that hit the 200 bar moving average. That, my friends, is a turnaround. That is support. So your Dow Jones Industrial Average daily looks like that. Your weekly Dow Jones Industrial Average, once again, look at this wonderful channel. Boom. Boom, here we are in the channel. So you see other reasons why I have no choice but to call this a buy. I would not just step in front of a market that's been going down and say, let's get long. But that, any technician would tell you, you've got to go with that in a bull market. Let's look, there's more. S&P daily bar, look at this wonderful hold of OTAPMA. It gets here, goes through it, holds. Through it, holds. Through it, holds. Through it each time it hit this red line. And held and went back up. That, my friends, is a hold. Then you've got the weekly. This is fantastic. Look at this chart. You put in almost a flat top right at the high of this parallel channel. What does it do? Goes right to the bottom of the parallel channel, goes through a little bit, and takes off. Puts in this almost flat top, but it's not quite. Boom! Goes right down where it goes through just a teeny bit and bottoms out. Then it does it again. It puts in another like flat top looking thing near the high of the channel. Comes down, boom, goes to the low of the channel. Goes back up, puts a flat top looking thing in a few weeks ago at the high of the channel. Comes back down, hits the low of the channel. That is a hold. This should take off tomorrow. Okay, traders, of everything I showed you, all of it gets thrown out the window when you go to the Russell. Everything was so perfect. You go to the Russell, you're below OTAPMA. There's a bear flag on the daily. The Russell looks terrible. Then you look at the Russell Weekly. It is the only holdout. It went through the big line and didn't come back up. It settled right here. So, of everything I just showed you, such a rosy, beautiful picture, the Russell blows a hole in that whole theory. But wait a moment. There's one more. This is the masterpiece of the evening. This is going to convince you that absolutely ES and NASDAQ should turn right here. And let me show you this wonderful masterpiece. Traders, let me show you this. There's nothing better. This is the evening's masterpiece. This is the VIX, the weekly bar on the VIX. So let me show you what's going on here. This is a 200 bar moving average. This is, as I've said, the fund manager's blue light special, right? This is the VIX on a weekly chart. When the VIX goes up, the S&P is in a tailspin. The S&P goes in a tailspin, the VIX hits the 200 bar on the weekly and turns around. The S&P goes straight up that next day. Once again, months later, we go back up, we hit the 200 bar, it dumps, the S&P goes up. Months later, we hit the 200 bar, VIX dumps, the S&P goes back up. Here we are as of Thursday night. We hit the 200 bar and came back and went underneath. VIX goes down, S&P goes back up, baby. That is my thesis for this evening, traders. This is your masterpiece chart for tonight's video. Traders, so there it is. There's my argument for why this thing has to go up tomorrow. Now, of course, don't just use stops. Use a really big one and make sure that nothing happens to you. Put stops in because there is no controlling this insane environment. Put your stops in, put them in first. But I had a great technical argument for why this should hold tomorrow. Traders, come on down to livewithoscar.com. Sit with me tomorrow. We'll see what happens when NFP comes out. I say that'll be the catalyst to send us higher. But please have your stops in because who knows with this insane volatility. All right, traders. Officially, OTAPA is a hold. I call that tonight for tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I'll see you at livewithoscar.com. Always keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening. And you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Traders, thank the VIX for taking the ES home tomorrow. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.